What's up, family? Yeah. I will be free back again for another live at 5. So I'm gonna go ahead and get set up over here on Instagram so we can. I meant to say Instagram in my intro, and I said Facebook by accident because I'm alternating between the two, Facebook and Instagram. So, but I'm always gonna be on YouTube. But here's the kicker with that. I got two channels. So if you don't see me, my new uploads on one of the channels, go to the other channel and you'll see it there. So goes for my lives as well. I am too much reverb. I am going to try to see if I can upload the things on my other page to this one. I should be able to do that. So then you guys don't miss anything. So let me go ahead and get set on Instagram. Yeah. Going live on Instagram, y'all. And I know it's early. I got 5 minutes. So I get to chit chat a little bit and da 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 and all that good stuff, right? Okay. Yeah. Instagram, what's happening? Yeah. Live at 5. I know I'm a bit early though. That's something I like doing. I like being early than late. Is that too much reverb? Because that's the best I have right now. So I'm gonna back that mic up a little bit. And yeah, we got a pretty good topic today. And my topic today is how did you feel when you were told that you had to wear a mask in public? Y'all remember that feeling, right? I know how I felt. So we're gonna talk about that today. See if we can get a couple of y'all to jump on board. Um, I understand that you guys got a lot of things to do on Saturdays because you work throughout the week, and only time you have off is the weekend. So let's hope that you got some of that stuff out the way, and you can join me here on this live for a short time. Depends on how excited I get about the conversation. Depends on how long I go. My limit is about 30 minutes. But it depends. We had a good topic yesterday, of course. Always like to recap a little bit. And yesterday was about the Black learning uh, system for young Black kids. So we definitely kind of went over some of that. And today, I just thought about this, only because I see how a lot of people are reacting to um, being told that they have to wear a mask. Now, my reaction wasn't great at first either, but I think what really got me to put a mask on, this was way at the beginning, like when they first told us. I think that was somewhere in February, I believe, and they told us about this virus that was spreading, and I'm like, wow, shoot, I don't want to get it, so I think it would be safe for me to go ahead and put a mask on. So it didn't take an awful lot for me to do that, put a mask on. I think the hard part was the vaccine itself. And now, being that, let me see, at what time was it? January, February, March, April, around April, I think. February or March, I think it was March that I had contracted it. Was it February or March? It was somewhere in March, I believe, or April. I contracted in 2021. And wow, to compare that to a cold or flu, it had more flu, um, characteristics. It was a lot like the flu, but the flu didn't zap the energy out of my muscles and joints, and just had my entire body aching. I've had the flu before, and the flu had my body aching somewhat, but just my body, like every time I even catch a cold, I can, just a touch to my skin, I can tell that I'm not feeling well, right? And that is when I start taking precautions. I start putting on more clothes, taking in more vitamins, and really try my best to keep my immune system up by eating all the right foods, which we should do just throughout the year, just in case. You never know when a sickness will, try to strike you. So you want to give yourself a fighting chance by keeping your immune system up. And one of the ways is working out. Is some of you who know me know that I love really working out. Right now, I'm on a hiatus from working out. But when I get back to it, it's going to give me incentive, to get out there every day and work out. So I don't feel like I'm working out for nothing. You know, um, you guys know I'm an older individual, so of course it is very imperative, very important for older people to try to stay as active as possible. I don't work out it with my cardio as much. I kind of pumping a little weights now. I don't use big weights. The most I would use is 45 pounds. So that's about all I'm going to do, you know. But I'll use it the best to my advantage until I can get back out there and start doing that cardio work on that back. But until then, this is how I kind of keep myself fairly attuned, whatever. And so after, matter of fact, when we first heard, I was working at a company where I had to be in a truck with a guy. I was on the dock loading trucks at the time. And that's when we start first hearing about this virus. And there was a guy who had an app on his phone that actually kept track of all the cities and states that was reporting that this particular virus was emerging, popping up. And it would add to the numbers, and it was just constantly growing. In one day, it was literally growing because of all the people who were across the states, and especially in North Carolina, And then when we heard about our zip code getting a couple of the cases, then we really started to panic. So um, I think a week into it, after that, after we really found out about it, is when they were suggesting us to get these masks, and they were trying to supply the workers with masks as well, because knowing we had to work with people. So I left that job because of COVID, and I wasn't affected directly at the time when I left. It was another job that I had got, and I had went back to driving on the road thinking I'll be, by myself a lot, so I didn't have to worry about coming in contact with a whole lot of people. But then when I got to the stores, I was doing my own deliveries. So, uh, long story, man. It's a long story. I'm not going to go through that particular part, which some of you already know. But yeah, and I actually felt sick, and I had to literally stop work. Luckily, I ended that particular job on that particular day. I finished the job, but I felt so bad. I couldn't pull myself together, and it was I felt, and it started like because I didn't eat that day. I'm thinking because I'm weak, I'm tired, I need to eat. Even after I ate, it didn't get any better. It just started getting worse, and a lot of other things, all the things that they were kind of saying that some of the symptoms would be is what I actually started to feel. Now I don't know if that was a psychological thing, or or what, being that they've already mentioned to beware of these particular symptoms. And whew, all I could tell you is, shoot, I'm a God-fearing man, and I think that helped me get through it, and my family. But the part about wearing a mask, I personally didn't see the big issue with wearing a mask, and I understand that a lot of people were feeling like it it was an infringement on their rights of individuality, being able to decide on their own if they really wanted to wear one versus being told that you have to wear one, you know. And that's where I found a big division has been created by just first suggesting people to wear masks and then making it a mandate. and people were just so horrible about wearing the mask. And they, some people probably because they worked with the public that they had to wear masks all day. Now, I've had public jobs, I've had individual jobs where I didn't have to deal with the public as much. But when it depends on the type of job that you have, and I think I have to change this. Hold on one sec. All right, I think this might work for me better. I'm just gonna have to change. I'm just have to make some changes here. But as far as me having a big problem with it, now the only workers that I see that would have a major problem with wearing a mask all day is the ones who are doing that hard physical sweating labor, because I had to do it, and I found it very uncomfortable. It seems as if I had to switch masks every task on the job because I sweat in summertime very hard. I'm a very hard sweater, so it was hard for me to wear the mask and work. This particular job that I took after the fact, after the COVID, after I got through COVID and went back to work, and then I was told again, still, that we had to wear masks and it was mandatory at the job. But this job was a very physical job, and I pretty much realized I thought it was just wouldn't be a big problem to do so. But the masks, the ones that they issue you in the hospital, the white ones on one side and blue on the other side, I thought those would be the perfect ones to have. So I ordered a bunch of them. But I realized I ran through them because how hard I sweat. And now those masks get extremely soggy with sweat. And it was hard for me to actually do the work because I'm trying to suck in air through all the sweat that accumulated on the mask. So I see that uncomfort feeling. So I had to have a lot of masks. I was just changing them every time it got soggy. And I tried different masks. It was a problem, and it was very uncomfortable to do. But I was willing to go through it based on I've experienced this COVID thing before. And I really didn't want anyone, I didn't want to be the cause or the reason to have somebody else go through it. Even though they say there's a period of you not being affected after you've had COVID. But the thing about it is they didn't know, they were just finding out things as they went with this COVID situation because it's something that they've never dealt with, you know, that on that scale before. They knew about it, of course. Um, I'm pretty sure that somebody they had some information on it, but when the CDC and all the scientists was trying to look into, how does this thing work? How does it actually live? How does it transfer? How does it affect the body? Why does it do what it does in certain people versus other people? They were all trying to figure this out at like the last minute. After we done already start building cases here, and what made it worse is that people refused to wear masks regardless because they had that less comfort or trust in the government and the CDC and the FDA. So they didn't want to really just go by any rules. I mean, just anything. It's like, it's all about them. It was selfish, self. I don't want to wear the mask. You can't make me wear it. You're infringing on my rights. Their rights was more important than saving other lives, or even just trying to bring down the spread of it. And it was just a mask. It's not like they were telling you to get vaccinated at the time. But of course, they come up with these vaccinations, and then the vaccinations. That's where it really got kind of funky because there was a whole lot of black people that really just don't trust this government. Because if you guys have heard in the past of experiments that they've done, like the Tuskegee situation, where They tried testing black people with syphilis. They paid people to come and be tested and be injected with syphilis to see what the syphilis would do to the human body. And some of the horrific things that it did, they gathered for their information. That's how wicked they were with black people. And they mainly wanted black people, you know, and there was a lot of not so smart and wise black people who did it for the sake of money. They needed the money, so of course they went and got the money, and then they were left with this lifelong problem, you know, and then they, of course they were being treated. So when we hear about those type of things that this government has done, then the majority of black and brown people, like, I don't trust them to shoot me, to inject anything into me. I'm not willing to do that. I'm willing to take my chances with going through, hopefully, that I can get past this situation with COVID and come out on the other end unscathed, right? That's the approach a lot of people are doing, and black folks as well. There's not just the the uh, the people who are just against the government, or you just hate the government and just want to overthrow it. We're not talking about just those people. There's also another group of people amongst us still that feel like, hey man, I don't trust them. And I felt the same way. I ain't gonna lie to you. I felt the same way. But I never had a problem, with, if I didn't have that type of physical job. Like if I know that I'm out about with my family or going shopping or whatever. Now, I had to estimate. I had to put it on a scale. Now I know my heart. My heart is a kind heart. I'm defensive with my heart as well. And I think that when people hurt you, you have a tendency of reacting back in a way that is not just you're protecting yourself, but then you want to put some pain back on them to let them know, don't come this way again. Don't come fooling with me. So that's the kind of protectiveness I think me and a lot of people are about. And so, but we're kind people. We're really kind natured individuals. So, um, us wearing a mask, or me per se, I'm talking about myself now. And I know there's a lot of people who think like I do, and there's a whole lot that don't. But I'm talking about the ones who do think like I do about these masks. And I just felt like, my duty, my part is to protect others as well. Even though I've already been through COVID, and there was a period of time from when you got it and you can't get it again until after a month or two later. And then now, of course, you had to be extremely careful again. But the whole time, I never had an issue wearing a mask, not me personally, right? And then it's only because I have a selfless heart. I have a selfless heart. I didn't just look at my rights being violated. I looked at the other side. Like the other side was, yeah, okay, your rights may be violated for them trying to tell you that you should wear a mask. And then the other side was that think selfishness for other people. Look after other people and wear the mask, especially when you're in public. You go to a store. Now, how long do you really plan on being in the store? And people were literally arguing and fighting about coming into the store having to put a mask on because they felt like their rights were being so violated, being forced to do something, that they truly just didn't want to do, or saying, well, give me that choice. What's going on with this camera now? They're up there crying about, let me make the choice about if I want to wear the mask or not. And if I choose not to, and that was the thing that just further divided us, because people use, it's their American right to, and their God-given right to decide on their own. And the decision they were choosing was not to wear the mask because they were told to wear the mask. Is that why you refused to wear the mask? Because you were told to wear a mask? You know what I mean? So to me, I thought that was kind of, selfish. very selfish, self-centered, didn't care about anybody else, not even their closest family members. They seemed like they didn't care. You know what I mean? Especially the elderly. And then they started to find out that people with already existing problems, health problems, that if they came in contact with this COVID thing, the COVID thing, especially if their immune system was weak, that the COVID would no more than likely, you know, spread in them and put them on a ventilator. And then once we've been hearing a lot of cases where once you get on a ventilator, man, that's pretty much the beginning of the end. Nobody really wanted to even go to the hospital anymore. You know, I'm not going to the hospital. That's where you pick it up. Everybody felt like you go there. That's where the COVID lives, you know, because everybody's running to the hospital when they get it. So you're running there and you're just running into a place where they are trying to treat it, but still there's just so many cases all up in one place, you know, and it just divided us even more. And then all the conspiracy theories came out. Oh my goodness. It was just, and it's still happening. You know, all the conspiracy theories are out there. Now, as far as me personally wearing a mask, I didn't see the big problem other than my job, and I had to sweat and change so many of the masks. That was so annoying. And if I know I wasn't around anybody, then I literally wouldn't wear the mask. But if I know the people coming to try to talk to me, I had to put my mask on and try to work at the same time. That's why I chose not to talk too much to a whole bunch of people while I'm working. I was just a loner, and I never had a problem being that way. But you know, I refuse to allow this COVID thing to jump on me twice, and then or I gets on me and I bring it to my home, and then now I have a little infant there. He's not an infant anymore, a little toddler, and I don't want to, you know, he never had to deal with it, and his mama never had to deal with it. So I'm like, you know, shoot, I rather just play it safe, and that's me being selfishless, and that's all that I think a lot of people are asking of people is just to think more of other people than just of yourself. It's very uncomfortable. This whole time, this whole situation in dealing with this COVID thing is uncomfortable. Now that's something we black and brown people know a lot of in this country, being very uncomfortable. We know about it, but we deal with that. And we still call this country our country. And we still patriotic to this country that don't seem to care as much for us as they do their own. And we still say we love this country and willing to die for this country because we're patriotic people. We still do that. And in being patriotic, we've chosen to think about other people and be concerning of them. And so we'll go through the uncomfortable part about putting a mask on in public. If I go in a store, I'm trying to limit my time in the store anyway. I ain't trying to stay hanging around in there. What do I want to do that for? Even if it wasn't COVID, I'm that guy that goes to the store, get exactly what he wants and get out. I'm not roaming around and just lingering. Now, you don't even have to do all that stuff anymore because everything is online. You can order the stuff and just go pick it up. You ain't even got to get out your car these days. You ain't even got to leave your house anymore. They're making it so easy. And then the school situation with the kids going to school, I hear these parents are arguing and fighting with the teachers about telling the kids that they have to come to school with a mask. I'm like, wow, man. I mean, you guys are really that upset about it? Because why? I mean, that's crazy to me. It's crazy. But you call yourself a patriotic American. A patriotic American? And all the people who ran up in the Capitol were patriotic Americans, right? Beating the crap out of the police to get up in there and then smear feces and doo-doo. Let me just say what it is. All up and down the hallways of the Capitol. But those were so-called the patriotic Americans. Now that saying one thing and acting another, that doesn't work. You can't say you are something and then act like a criminal. That doesn't work. I mean, what you're gonna deny now that you was acting like a criminal on camera and say, well, yeah, I know it looks like me smearing doodle up and down the walls of the Capitol, but that's not me. That's just, you know. So this is the thing, you know, it's like a big contradictory. They, a lot of people contradict themselves. They say one thing and they act another way, right? So if you're a patriotic person, then yeah, the uncomfort thing about looking after your fellow American, you'll do it anyway. Because look, it's uncomfortable to go fight for this country. You're putting your life on the line to fight for this country. Man, you know, it looks like we're going to have to do it again. You're not going to just have to wear just a regular mask. You may have to wear a gas mask. Oh, how uncomfortable that is to wear a gas mask and then have to be shot at and bombed. People literally trying to kill you because you're an American. Not because you're white or black or Spanish or Chinese. It's because you are an American. Bottom line. But you still got a problem. Half of America still got a problem with black and brown people who are patriotic to this country and willing to die and fight for this country like they are. But then when the government asks us to wear a mask, we like, man, I hate that. Where's my mask at? Put it on anyway and go to the freaking store. You know what I mean? That's an irritating thing to think about. It's an irritating thing to think about. Don't lie in my face and tell me that you're a freaking American because you're dressed in American hat, American shirt, American pants, American socks. Like, I mean, the flag, you know, American flag clothes. But you're acting like a criminal, like somebody who hates the country. Don't tell me you're a patriotic person just because you're wearing a flag. Just because you're wearing a flag, I'm supposed to look at you as a great patriotic American right there. No, you're not. You're a fake. It shows in your concern for other Americans in this country. It shows how much of a fake you are. Y'all did that. You see how that just comes together like a puzzle? Before, we used to be very trustworthy of a lot of people because it seemed like they got a flag out, they got an American flag on their front lawn, big flag. They got American flag stickers saying, I am an American, you know, on their trucks, right? Their wallets and the cell phones have covers of the American flag, right? And every time they speak about America, they're so proud to know that they served for this country, or their fathers or their uncles and aunts have served for this country, and we are patriotic Americans. But still, you got a problem looking out for your American to wear a freaking mask on to go to the store for a few minutes. Man, do you live in a store? You live in Walmart? Do y'all live in Walmart? No, some of you work in Walmart. I get it. You know, very uncomfortable to wear a mask. But a lot of your work is not like you have to be sweating constantly. That's why I can't understand people who are working in a place that you're not sweating as much and filling up the mask of sweat, and you got to change it every so often. If you don't have that type of job, shut up. Shut up and put your freaking mask on. That's how I'm looking at it. It's uncomfortable. Yeah, you're American, right? You're a patriotic American, though, right? You care about this country and the existing of the country and the people in it, right? That's what patriotic Americans do. Am I right? Yeah, I'm right about that. It don't matter what color you are, right? Am I right? It doesn't matter if you were born in Ecuador, but you come here and you are an American, you're doing everything the Americans, the way of America. You've been fighting for this country, right? Shouldn't we look at everybody who feels as if they belong here and fight for this country and even pledge allegiance to the flag, right? Which I don't do. I don't do that. Why? Am I being disrespectful to America? Heck no. I wanted to say something else just now. No, that's not being disrespectful. That's being honest. You understand? Yeah. I am the patriotic person who will put the mask on. You understand? Because I'm looking after the other Americans in this country. That makes me somebody who care about my fellow American because I'm looking after you as well. Regardless about that, yeah, okay, infringing on my rights to make me wear a mask and all that crap. Yeah, I get it. It's uncomfortable, man. But we go to war and get shot at. You understand? For this country. We have to fight in this country for people who's supposed to be upholding the law in this country. But we have to fight them and still say we love this country. And you got a problem putting a freaking mask on your face, man. Really? See, this is the thing that gets me fired up. You dig? This get me fired up because I can see through you. I can see the fakeness, the phoniness, the fake front that you put up to try to make the world think that you're such a patriotic American, but you're not. And your actions are telling us that you're not. But your words are telling us you're so patriotic, willing to do anything for this country. No, you're not. No, you are not. Don't bring that to an intelligent and a woke person because they're going to tell you about your fake self. You did? Put your mask on. I mean, look, it's your choice, right? That's all everybody. Every time you hear the argument, it's always, but it's my choice. I should have that choice to decide if I want to wear a mask or not. What about the other side of it all? Yeah, it is your choice. But what about you being a patriotic person looking out for your fellow American? What about that part? That doesn't matter anymore? Oh, I get it. Y'all get to pick and choose what matters when it comes to benefiting you. Is that how it works? Because remember now, when we came up with Black Lives Matter, remember that? Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter, ooh, 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 Black Lives Matter, right? Remember that? What did y'all do? Y'all came up with what? Blue lives matter, blue lives matter, all lives matter, all lives matter. Right? You just couldn't just accept the fact that we're saying our lives matter, man. Stop jumping on us like you do. Stop treating us like you've been treating us all this time of us being in this country. Y'all just couldn't settle with that. Y'all couldn't be like, well, you got a point there. I do understand that the country has not been treating Black Americans the way that they should. And you have all rights to say Black Lives Matter. But no, you want to try to come up with something because we did. So y'all going to try to counteract it with what? Just being spiteful, man? You evil mofos? That's the way I'm looking at y'all, man. Evil. Just evil to the core, man. And that's what fires me up. And then when you get that reaction, especially like I had an issue one time. Let me go back to the mask and a couple of little incidences I had about it. I used to get irritated when this whole thing, because I was wearing the mask and I didn't want to wear the mask. I didn't want to put that thing on my face every time I went out my house. That irked the heck out of me. That made me feel some type of way. But now it had me looking at other people like, you selfish mofo. You selfish son of a gun. Don't want to put your mask on. What's the problem? And I would speak on it to some people. And it'll almost get me into confrontations with them physically. You know? Because they feel like that I'm a sheep because I'm putting it on, but never thinking about me being a patriotic person looking out for my fellow Americans. Never looked at it that way. All that went out the window. Just like when they ran in the Capitol and they beat up the police and all the Blue Lives Matter didn't matter no more. They just beat the crap out of them. For the sake of what? What was that again? What y'all do that for? Didn't make sense because you lost? That's what you did that for because you lost? Put your mask on. You know what I mean? That's how I felt. That's exactly how it made me feel. I was angry. But then I had to sit down and do some real soul searching. I had to sit down and ask myself, why am I so mad at them? They're the ones being ignorant. Now, I'm mad because it could be a possibility they could be continuing the spread of COVID. That's one thing that got to me. Made me feel like, yeah, they're not really Americans. They're not, I mean, they're Americans, but they're not patriotic Americans. They're selfish people. That's the thought that came to my mind. Selfish individuals, you selfish mofo. Look at you. Look at you. You being spiteful because you were told to put on a mask. And because you were told, like a mandate, that you're going to fight and argue with people who ask you to put on a mask in public. So now you fired up and angry because you think that your rights are being violated. Maybe they are. Maybe they are. They're telling you to put a mask on. Not like the mask is going to kill you. The mask going to kill you? Is that what it is? No. They're saying that the mask could possibly help. What's wrong? Possibly help. Not it's 100% guarantee that it's going to protect you from COVID, but it's a good chance to cut it down in the middle somewhere. Let's say you don't never get COVID. Never wearing a mask, you never get COVID. Or then again, maybe you do, and you're passing it on, and you find somebody in your family that probably had a compromised immune system, and then you see that they're dying or they're suffering from COVID, and you won't take responsibility at all and say, it didn't come from me. Not me. Right? But you the one running around in everybody's face, trying to talk all close in everybody's face and act like this pandemic don't exist. But you all up in everybody's face, and then a family member of yours gets sick and dies. But you won't take responsibility. Oh, no, it wasn't me. Nope, it was not me. That's all you're going to say. You're going to keep denying the possibility that it could have been you. But you never took precautions to even narrow down the chances. So it could have been you. Anybody out there with that situation, lost somebody in their family that they know they've been all up in their face and they refuse to wear a mask out in public? Maybe it was you. Maybe. But being that you can't pinpoint it and really put your finger on who exactly has it and who passed it on to who and so on and so forth, you refuse to take responsibility at all because you're only caring about yourself. Selfish. Yeah. We got two types of Americans in this country. We have your patriotic American, and you have your very selfish American. That would be your racist people too. Right? Think about that, man. There's two types of Americans. Don't give us lip service and tell us what you are. Show us with action who you are if you're a patriotic American. Okay? Never mind the color. Don't look at my color. And try to decide if I'm patriotic or not to this country. That ain't got nothing to do with nothing. It's my actions. And it's your actions. Your actions and your actions. Take responsibility for your own actions. And if your actions are proving to everybody in America that you are patriotic, then we will look at you and say, you know what? That guy right there is a very patriotic person. Yes, he is. Even though he doesn't pledge allegiance to the flag, he'll kneel first and put a fist up for all the fallen people under the craziness of the racist police officers. Yeah, that's what we kneel for when it comes to that flag. It's not that we dislike America, stupids. It ain't that, dummies. We're telling you what it is. But you're just going to try to make sure that you change the narrative anyway. It don't matter. And you're the one running around without a mask on, right? But we got the mask on, kneeling at the flag with our fist up for the fallen people who is being brutally, savagely attacked and killed by unjust police. This is what it is. We got a mask on and a fist up for them. I pledge allegiance this way. You got a problem with that? Do you have a problem with that? I'm a patriotic individual. Yeah. Believe it or not. You can try to change the narrative of this all you want. Remember back in the 60s, the Olympic fellas, the two brothers stood up there with their fists high What did you? What? What do you think they did that for? What do y'all think they did that for? What's wrong with y'all? If you don't get it, you don't understand it. Talk to somebody who know. Matter of fact, there's a lot of information that you can get right here on social media. You can go to Google. You can search anywhere you want about any type of information, and you'll see the reason why. Even back in the '60s, why did we raise our fists when they was pledge allegiance to the flag? Why did they do that then, and why do they do it now? Really? Y'all still don't understand because you don't want to understand. For the ones who don't understand, don't want to understand. They do a blind eye to everything when it comes to black folks and brown people. Turn their heads like, oh, I'm not even looking. What are they doing over there? I hear them making noise over there, but it's not even my concern. I don't care. That's what's wrong with y'all. You don't freaking care. Now you're trying to take books out of the school for what? To hide history? Trying to hide history, man. Really? That ain't gonna work. Y'all can try it. But you're making yourselves look ignorant, and you're trying to keep your children ignorant. Y'all know who I'm talking about when I say y'all. Do I have to spell it out too? All you racist, hateful people who just hate black people because they black. Them the ones I'm talking about. And most of them are Republicans. Ooh, he said it. He said it, Republicans. Heck to the yeah, Republicans. Most of you. Except the Lincoln Project people. Put your mask on. This topic will always go down in history as one of the divisions in this country. Right? Because of a situation, what was it? From Wuhan, China, right? That some bad fish, somebody got sick off some bad fish and traveled over there to visit their family and came back here. And then that's what the first known situation of COVID in this country, and it spread from that one person to, oh man, how many? Dag nabbit, man, I didn't even get that. I didn't even get that number, man. But it's somehow over 5 million people. Man, what? Put your mask on. Put your mask on. That ain't gonna hurt you. I don't think it's gonna hurt you. And a lot of you people, all of you smart ones, trying to come up with, well, wearing a mask constantly so much, the oxygen level inside the mask can even make you sick because you can't actually get fresh air, and these things will actually cause you to get sick and affect your lungs. Shut up. Put your mask on. You're always trying to find something. You work so hard to spread all of this crap out here, man, to stop us from actually standing together as patriotic Americans looking out for other Americans. You don't give a freak, man. You don't care. And you put your energy toward trying to debunk situations that can possibly help. It ain't gonna hurt you to put a freaking mask on. I ain't never known nobody to die from wearing a freaking mask. But I know I've heard people dying for not wearing a mask. Dag nabbit, man. Dag nabbit, man. What in the world? That thing didn't even work. How come? Oh, I changed it. Okay. But anyway. Yeah, y'all get it? Some of you don't even give a dag nabbit, right? But that's cool too. I've already come to the conclusion that selfish people, selfish Americans are going to be selfish. And then your patriotic, your patriotic Americans. You know them. They're willing to be a little uncomfortable to help the cause, the masses. Because they want to see America prosper. They want to see Americans get along. They want to see the peace. They don't want to see the division anymore. So you're patriotic, and that's why people go and fight for this country. That's one of the reasons. Now, if you're in it for some other reasons, just to kill, then you're a sick mofo. you know? And being a police officer, same thing. You became a police officer because you want to serve and protect, not because you want to target certain people because you don't like the way they look or the way they act or the color of their skin because you don't like them and you want to lock them up. You become a doctor for a purpose because you want to help people. It's not because you want to get in there and every sick black person come in there, you want to pull the plug. You know, you become a politician in your district, in your area for a purpose to help people, by the people and for the people, right? Not because you want to get up there and just create a bunch of laws that's going to be against a bunch of brown and black people, just so rich people can continue to prosper, the 1% or 1 or 2% of the world, and the rest of y'all, I don't care. That's not what you're into politics for. You don't become the president of the United States just to become rich and just to look after only the people who voted for you. That's not why you become president. And then when there are threats from other countries, other leaders of other countries threatening us and attacking us, you don't stand up there and say, well, he said he didn't do it. He said he didn't do it. And I don't see why he would. What in the world? No. That's not why you become president. To line your pockets and then to be a Russian sympathizer. That's not what you do. That's wrong. And that's what we get. You understand? And look, remember this now. Remember, he was the main one talking about, it's not really necessary to wear a mask. But you see what his monkey butt did, though, right? Oh, it's not really necessary to actually even get the vaccine. But you see what his monkey butt did, though, didn't he? The very thing he telling y'all not to do, he went and did himself. He put the mask on, too, because the knucklehead got sick. Left y'all hanging. Yeah, he left y'all thrown under the bus. And this is the man that you fighting for to get back in office again? The man that threw y'all under the bus numerous times. And now you're fighting to get him back in there so he can throw you under the bus again. Because when he loses, what he gonna do? He gonna cry like a baby, cheat. You know, and it seemed like all of the Republicans just fell in line when it came to cheating. You know, and there's a whole bunch of them up in there didn't want to wear a mask, and those stupid Gates come in trying to be funny, you know, with a gas mask on. Look, I'm wearing a mask. Right? He did that. Hey, look. Listen, y'all. The bottom line is this. I know I get kind of carried away sometimes. I can't help myself. But for use people who want to check me out, look. So listen. Whoever comes back over, you know, to check me out once again, the next one I'm going to have won't be on Instagram, it'll be on Facebook. All right. So if you missed this one, you know, run it back, check it out. YouTube, I might be off tomorrow. You know, I got some praying to do. I might even pray with y'all. Matter of fact, I might do that. I might even come on and just do a thing of prayer. Notice how upset I got. I get very upset just thinking about these things. You know what I mean? And I didn't even tell you the story about me and the guy in Walmart. Never mind. That's neither here or there now. All right, I've come to the end of this, and all I want to say is that if you call yourself somebody who loves this country, if you love this country, don't give us lip service about how much you love this country, that you're a patriotic American. Don't do that. Show us physically your actions that you're a patriotic American and you care about all Americans in this country, no matter what their color is. No matter what their color is. Okay? On that note, I gotta go. I gotta check this phone call. Treat people like you want to be treated, and it'll come back round, because it has for me. One love, y'all. And I'll catch you next time. Next time, I will be on Facebook. Okay? So let's click this off at the same time, y'all. And Peace and one love.